Hey everybody, it's Peter, and it's Friday, so it's time for Marvel's Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 5, Episode 16. Tonight's episode is Inside Voice. I will be publishing this a day later because this is a really good episode. I won't get too spoilery with this. This is definitely a must-see. This is actually one of the better episodes so far of the season. Quoting back to Rewind with Fitz and Hunter, this was a really good one. We've actually gotten in this episode 3 stories instead of an A and a B. We got an A, B, and a C. Okay, so one part of the story is still taking place in the old Hydra base with Phil Coulson. And we also got Carl Creel, and we got Ruby and Hale, and later on we bring in Talbot. The B story is Fitzsimmons and Yo-yo and Mack. And if you've seen the one trailer, Jemma wants to get Fitz out of holding and bring Yo-yo along with her super arms. She's got her robot arms on now too, so she can kick ass, take names. She can actually even crush water bottles. And they want to go out, and there's supposedly 3 areas that they think they can go to find Coulson. Unfortunately, Mack's not on board with this one, so that's part of that story. The B story is Daisy and May. Actually, Daisy wants to go find Robin. She's still a little girl at this time. And try to get answers for her to try to find Coulson in her way. Like I said, as an episode, this was pretty good. Still some of the characters, I keep saying almost every time, but yeah, I'm really getting tired of Mack. I think a lot of people are tired of Mack. Yo-yo was a little bit better this time. She wasn't so whiny. But every time, I don't know, I was thinking about you. Mack's been a character for almost 4 seasons now. And he's got to be he's like Captain, I'm going to start calling him Captain Whiny, Captain Mopey. Because they're like, oh, why are we doing this and all this other stuff? And you going on about it again? Yo-yo, sweetie, I don't want to lose you. So yeah, he's worried about Yo-yo. She's going to get killed. And it's like Yo-yo said, hey, dude, I saw myself in the future. How am I going to die? Because I got to that point without the arms. And now I didn't lose my arms. I've got my robo arms. I'm good. So like I said, you saw the trailer with her and Jemma and Fitz. And it's like, and then Jemma's getting the idea too. Yeah, because we make it that far. Deke is our grandson. So we got to make it that far. So they're set. After the recap, as always, we're starting off with Phil Coulson still being grilled by Hale. She's basically taking away all his privileges. She took away his bed, took away his chair, even took away his Captain Crunch. Weird thing about Hale this episode too, she's lost the uniform. She's now wearing some kind of funky black outfit with a little, maybe it's a Hydra belt buckle or something. But her too, she's still a bit of an idiot, like we saw in last week's episode. Coulson tells her the future. No, I don't believe the future. You're from S.h.i.e.L.D. You're a guy. But you've seen some weird stuff. You don't believe all this stuff. And it's like, and Mack was being an idiot, like I said, because, well, I don't believe the future thing too, because just because you saw yourself in the future, everybody's being even. And I think like each group has an idiot. In the A story, Hale is the idiot. In the B story with Fitzsimmons and Yo-yo and Mack is the idiot. In the C story, Daisy's the idiot. You never get with Daisy either. She's this computer whiz, and she used to be a little bit smarter before. She was always like the wisecracking character too. But now that Coulson put her in charge, Coulson put her in charge, like, I don't want to be in charge. We're going to get Coulson back. We'll put Coulson back in charge. And she's going like, oh, let's go. And I thought it was a dumb plan too. Let's go find Robin at their safe house. And the whole thing too. Robin's just like, we don't really know why or when she started going quieter than normal. And Robin just sort of staying there the whole time too. But Daisy like, oh, but sweetie, you got help. I have to find my friend Phil. Spoiler here. Robin later on starts wandering around the Quinjet, and she sees May in the pilot's chair, and she's going like, Mom. So she's still remembering, because remember we were in the future before. We find out back then that actually May takes care of Robin as she's growing up in the lighthouse. And Robin, of course, because of her timey-wimey powers, she sees May and she's like, May, mommy. And then she comes out of her funk and she starts drawing pictures about this, that, and the other thing. And one of the pictures is, a picture of Coulson with somebody, we're not sure who it is, somewhere, and it looks like the forest or mountains or something. Daisy said, great, we can take this, and they see if they can find this, because I don't know how you can, because if you ever seen Robin's pictures, they're kind of like just like, 5-year-old drawing pictures. I don't know how you can actually like put it into a scanner and go into a database and try to find topographical locations that may match how she's doing the drawing. Like I said, the plans aren't too bad. In the A store with Coulson, he basically talks Creel into, okay, you know what? Hale's been lying to you. You got to work with me. Got to find Talbot. What, Talbot's here? Didn't you know Talbot's here? Like, no, see, Hale's been lying to you. That's part of the plan in Coulson's story, is we got to find Talbot and try to get out of this madhouse. Part of that story, too, is before Coulson talks Creel into coming with him, Hale wants to test the gravitonium that they stole last episode. This whole episode 2, Ruby is just totally pissed off that she can't touch the gravitonium. She wants to become the destroyer of worlds. Her mother, like she said last episode, no, it's going to be Daisy. And that's when Phil said, like, don't do that, because the world's going to go topsy-turvy. It's going to be a total wreck, because I see the future. And this was sort of an interesting part 2 to call back to season 1, when we first found about the gravitonium, and we met Dr. Franklin Hall, who is the Canadian. That was kind of cool. A Canadian scientist who worked for S.h.i.e.L.D. And if you remember, when they locked it up, and Phil had to save the day, that this Hall actually got knocked into the gravitonium. He got sucked into it, and he's still part of it. Hale tells Creel to stick his hand in the gravitonium test and see if he can absorb it or whatever. Well, he doesn't even get a chance to stick his hand in part of the gravitonium, and I kind of figured maybe the guy that was in there, because that was part of the teaser at the end of that episode where, he's like, oh, I can't get out, and it's like, sucked back in. And this is the same thing too. It's like, it's not a hand comes stretching out, but it's, a force of comes in and grabs Creel up to his arm, tries pulling him in, and he's able, with the robo guards, to get back out of there. And then somehow that messes him up. He keeps having flashbacks. That's messing up. And again, that's when Hale is acting like the idiot. Oh, you're not understanding things, and he can't describe what's happening to him. So she thinks he's having some kind of episode. So again, somebody who's supposed to be, I don't know what it is with villains and stupidity sometimes. Actually, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to go too deep into the episode. Actually, there was a cool call out when Creel does come after Coulson near the beginning of the episode. He said, yeah, I'm not going to join your evil league of evil. And I start snickering, because if you've seen, because it's, you got the Whedons working on this, that's a line from Dr. Horrible, that, it's the evil league of evil. Cool call out. The inside voice joke is coming from when Creel and Coulson finally get Talbot out of lockup. Talbot, too, is still a little nutty because of all the torture he's had with him. He's got a few screw looses more than normal. He's kind of like, yeah, it's like, Coulson's like, shh, inside voice. And he's like, this is my inside voice. Okay, well, how about a quieter version of your inside voice? The story of Yo-Yo and Fitzsimmons and Mack, so they can get out of there and do a thing. There is a cool thing of it's teased in the trailer about the 3 of them being invincible, and they're going to make it to the future. Jemma figured, and this is when Jemma's getting real badass. It's like Yo-Yo says, well, Mack's not going to let Fitz out of holding, because Daisy told him to, and Daisy still doesn't hurt because of what Fitz did to her with taking the inhibitor out. And Mack's on Daisy's side. So there's a really cool middle part of the story where, okay, Gemma's like, oh, you don't worry about Mack. I got a plan. So there's a really cool part about that, how they break Fitz out of that and go on their mission at the end of this episode to go rescue Coulson. I've heard a rumor that they may be renewed for season 6. But personally, I think the way season 5 has been going, except for like a couple episodes that are not bad, I think S.h.i.e.L.D. should give it a rest. We've got so much MCU product out there. There's a ton of stuff on Netflix. I heard the other day, too, that they're going to come out with Cloak and Dagger. They got the Defenders. I don't know how good the Defenders are. There's season 2 of Jennifer Jones. I am trying out Netflix, so maybe I'm going to watch some of this, but I find some of the TV... S.h.i.e.L.D. has been the only good, really, superhero show since Heroes. All the DC shows, the Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, and now they got Krypton out. Krypton, don't even go see Krypton. Check it out if you want, but for me, I just saw like 2 minutes of it. And again, everybody's being tough, and to me, I like acting a certain, acting done in a certain way. Not everybody's like, oh, we're going to get at you and rah, rah, rah. But again, I have a very high standard in my TV shows and my acting and my movies and that kind of thing. So, what did you guys think about tonight's episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? My episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Don't forget, if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. I am on the Veda/Triple S Veda, blocking every day. In April, I'm doing that as well. So I'm trying to mix it all up. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.